Welcome, folks. Good to be with you. Yeah, welcome to you all. Okay, we'll sit. So getting situated and finding your posture. Relaxing whatever can be relaxed. Allowing any tension that remains to remain. We relax in order to feel more. We relax in order to give our nervous system a little break. We relax because clinging always carries a kind of burden of tension. We relax because it feels good, and because it conveys to life our confidence that we can meet it. What would it be like if we were deeply unafraid of our inner life? What would it be like if we just assumed our safety for these 30 minutes? That it was okay to deeply relinquish our vigilance rather than patrol phenomena. We surrender to them. The breath might be an anchor, sound might be an anchor, the hands or feet or some pleasantness in your body might be an anchor. The anchor might be everywhere. But even as we incline our minds towards surrender, relinquishment, non-vigilance, we're nurturing the clarity, the attention, high resolution, not foggy, not mediated by dense story. our attention snags on phenomena like a hangnail on fabric. We momentarily forget anicca, impermanence, and then we let go. Knowing experience moment by moment, but not holding it still. You're too busy knowing to feel like you have a vantage point. Too busy knowing to keep tabs on who you are, how you're doing. Too busy knowing to keep track of the million things right and the million that are wrong in this moment. You get caught up, not even not even the slightest problem. Just forgive yourself and seed that ground and get busy knowing. too busy knowing to have even the faintest clue about who you are. About your strengths and limitations. good to sit with you. So over the 12 years or so that I've been teaching full time, I've received a lot of feedback, and I used to be featured in a kind of video course that maybe 5, 10,000 people would take each year. And to complete the course, the learning management system required people to give detailed feedback. So they could not get course credit unless they gave detailed feedback on the trainers, of which I was one. And this is if you think you truly understand anatta, read the feedback from 10,000 strangers. you know. So even still, I've always kind of valued it, even if sometimes it's jangly or something. But I valued it because it illuminates, the response to feedback illuminates the architecture of self-view, the kind of sacred cows of self. And we usually think like, okay, I'll take in the feedback that's right, and I'll refuse the feedback that's off base. And that's fair enough. But I think from a Buddhist perspective, it's like regardless of whether the feedback is right or wrong, if it highlights defensiveness, it's a value. It's a value. Because wherever there's defensiveness, there's clinging. And clinging can always lead us to harming self and other. So I say all of that as a kind of introduction to a little piece of feedback that's been lodged deep, deep in my brain, maybe like medulla oblongata deep, kind of like the part that regulates breathing. You're rooting for me. You're rooting for me. You're hoping it's not that bad. You're hoping I'm going to be okay. Just stop rooting. Stop rooting. It's about to get real. So this guy turned out to like me. This is in LA. But when he walked into the Dharma hall and saw me sitting up on the dais, his first thought was, who is this middle manager of Kinko's about to give us all a Dharma talk? R.I.P. Kinko's, but yeah, okay. Now maybe I laugh about that so that I don't cry, or I laugh to diffuse some kind of shame or something like that. But honestly, when I heard that and when I say it, it brings a lot of delight. It brings a lot of delight. I think because there's something true about it. There's something true about it. And this is not like my self-hatred talking. This is not that my sense of self was not a casualty in that moment at all. But I do think that maybe I read a little bit like a junior manager of Kinko's. And I think I read I think I read like that because there are, of course, certain aspects of my practice that are underdeveloped. And so the Dharma's 1,000 beautiful qualities, and if we cultivate even a few, we're fortunate, right? So I was talking with a Dharma friend, and she also took the liberty of giving me some feedback, you know, just just open season on the esteemed leader of certain Wednesdays. Okay, so more feedback, and and she said, sometimes she uses a very simple map of capacities: head, heart, belly. Head referring to clarity, discernment, the kind of pristine kind of view, conceptual understanding, coherence. So allows us to cut through the static and illuminate what matters. And heart referring to kind of affective sensitivity and empathic connection and love and attunement and compassion, this realm. And then belly, belly, referring to groundedness, groundedness, presence, earthiness, the kind of weight, the force of a person's presence involves the belly, involves a certain kind of deep embodiment. And this friend who I trust totally said, Matthew, kind of have developed two of the three. You can guess maybe which is underdeveloped. Belly, belly, kind of the weightiness of the yeah the weightiness of presence. So why am I telling you all this? Am I using you as like a therapeutic mirror or something to get whatever to? No, no, not at all. Telling you this because a teacher cannot only share their wisdom, but uh, also their delusion, right? We share wisdom and delusion because I can't tell the difference between the two. And so sometimes it feels reasonable just to kind of come clean. Oh, okay. I see clearly there are aspects of the path that are I want to keep developing. Nietzsche said one repays a teacher badly if one always remains nothing but a pupil. And so I'm telling you this because the student is expected to exceed the teacher. I'm telling you this because it's fascinating how the Dharma kind of or the Dharma grows, and it kind of can grow and accommodate our own neurosis in a graceful way, sort of, but it's like we can practice in such a way that there are certain aspects of the path that we really don't notice. And that image that I've mentioned before of like, when like a tree branch that has grown like entangled with a power wire up on a telephone pole, and the electrical crew just deems like, okay, we're just going to have to cut both sides of the branch. And then there's that chunk of wood that's just suspended by the thin line, and I don't know, there's something about that image that makes me think of the ways in which kind of like, just the gnarled pieces of us just grow around something, sort of force it to accommodate our pain or something. And this is all fine. It's like, yeah, generally it's good to develop our strengths, but then we got to double back to what comes less naturally, you know. I'm telling you this because the Dharma is so wild. It's so wild. It has so many surprises in store for us. I don't I don't know that they'll stop, you know. But the unwillingness to be startled, you know, is uh, is maybe a sign there's something deadening in us. And so we, yeah, growth is always a little startling. It's a little startling. We get kind of comfortable in one mode of practice and then the rug gets pulled out from us. We sort of like at some cruising altitude and then there's some turbulence, something changes. And the encouragement is just like, yeah, to be open to being startled, to be open to having some vision of who we are kind of like cracked open, you know? We we practice, yeah, we cease to predict, you know, cease predicting ourselves in the next week or day or moment. You can maybe sense the kind of openness of that. And so, yeah, growth is kind of startling sometimes, you know, but we do not shy away from it, you know. That's kind of like the Dharma attitude, I feel. Do not shy away from it. We're here for too little time. We all are here for too little time, die too soon. And so we trust that there's nothing you can discover about yourself that will be a reason to love yourself less. When you know that in your bones, then the self-exploration becomes reckless. And yeah, becomes just it's all Dhamma, all love. So offer this for your consideration, and we'll be back next week. Okay, folks.